Welcome back to 93.3 CFMU. My name is Noor, and this is New Release Mondays. Now, today we have a special segment, and that's Open Mic. So I'll let my guests introduce themselves.
I guess I'll start first. Hi, I'm M. Harrison Shin. Happy to be here.
Hi, I'm Camilo, or I also go by Cam, and I'm also pretty ecstatic to be here.
Awesome. So we have 3 very fun albums to talk about today. So I'll turn it over to Harrison to start.
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me. And I am very excited to talk about this specific album because I am her personal fan. She was my first ever local music experience that I had in Hamilton. So today I'm going to talk about No Place That Feels Like by Ellis. It is a full-length album released on 26th of April 2024. Ellis, we had a lot of presence in CFMU back in 2020 when her first album was released. She visited our station with Dan Edmonds, the local musician too, and she did like a little shout out for the Raise Your Voice 2020 campaign, which was pretty amazing. And I was just really, really happy to just have a new album from her. She also had an album release party held on 25th of April 2024 in the Casbah, and Noor, you, and I, and also Jamie Tennant, our programming director, were there. And I mean, honestly, I'm pretty sure you will wholeheartedly agree with me. It was an amazing show. What a live queen, Linnea.
It was so fun, and Linnea's voice was just it was like it was in the album. It was just so. I don't know. I felt like I was transported into another world in this concert. I don't know.
Exactly. The dream pop queen, shall I say.
Yes.
Emo dream pop queen.
There you go.
According to the Spotify.
Emo dream pop queen. Yes, there you go. So this album is the second full album. The first one was Born Again, and it's been 4 years. The first one, Born Again, was released on 3rd of April 2020. And for your information, I was at that album release party of her first album, Born Again, and that time I was with Jomar, then production coordinator, and Erica, then music director, and also my then co-host and my current bestie, Jenny.
March 2020.
Yeah, March. It was an interesting moment because when that album was released, I think about a week after, we had the announcement from the government saying that we are going into full pandemic mode. And I met her in the record store day in Into the Abyss, our local record store, and I greeted her and told her last time when we had the album release party, we had a pandemic week after. This time, let's not try to do that. And she wholeheartedly agreed with me, and then actually said the same thing at the album release party, which made me very, very happy about it.
Kind of iconic.
Exactly. And I'm not gonna knock on wood because of the microphone might pick up, but knock on wood, knock knock.
Let's not have that happen again.
Yeah, let's not.
Let's not put that into the universe now.
Exactly. So. Little more information. Linnea, on her Instagram post on 26th of April, it was a day after the Hamilton show. She said, quote, "There were so many times I wondered if it was worth it, but today I woke up knowing that it was. Thank you forever for that," end quote. That was a very wholesome moment. And the reason why that she said that she wondered if it was worth it or not, I think can be referred to the specific song "What I Know Now" in this album. So I'm gonna dive into the little bit of lyrics here. Under the control of some old dudes from Mississippi. I think that was referring to Fat Possum Records, which was her previous label, which happens to be located in Mississippi. I don't know. I might be speculating.
Crazy coincidence.
Yeah, crazy coincidence.
Her new album is self-released.
Yeah, it is. It is self-released now, so I don't know. Other lyrics was, "You said that I was both too specific and too vague. You wrote that there wasn't anything to latch onto. And the long and lonely walks with headphones on, crying in the booth. I couldn't help it. I started to hate all my own songs." So I think this was how would I describe this? This album was a very personal. It feels like a personal journal from Linea's perspective. All the troubles, all the internal like conflicts of within her brain, all those things, and she really put it out there. I feel like, yeah. That goes the same with this song "It'll Be Alright." So some of the lyrics from that song is, "I've never been scared like I'm scared right now. The days keep bleeding into the night, and I will keep fumbling towards the light. I will keep holding on for dear life, and it'll be alright." And there are, first and foremost, there are two favorite songs that from this album that I personally have added to my playlist, which was "It'll Be Alright" and "What I Know Now." And what I take out of this "It'll Be Alright" song is that life is scary, but I'm going to keep hold on to things that I love, and it will be all right. You know, might lose a little bit of dignity, but oh well, it happens, kind of thing. So that's what I'm taking out from this album. So yeah, I just yapped like for like, I don't know, like 5 minutes. Well,
keep yapping. Keep yapping.
Yeah, I got a little too excited, but yeah, this is my own take, and I'm really glad to have Linea coming back with her full album. It genuinely has been a very amazing experience, both in person for the release party and also my personal ears. I absolutely love listening to her instrumentals and also the emo dream pop voice. Yeah.
I think for me, when she was releasing her singles, she released "What I Know Now," "It'll Be Alright," "Obliterate Me," and "Forever," and I really liked it. "It'll Be Alright" and "Forever." Sorry, "It'll Be Alright" and "What I Know Now" as well. Mm-hmm. But I feel like even though, for example, in "What I Know Now," she talks about her label. That song could also be applied to so many situations in your life.
Exactly.
And even so, for me, what I know now, and then "It'll Be Alright" kind of could go hand in hand as well, because you're saying, yes. Blah blah blah, and I wish I knew what I know now, and then afterwards you could say "it'll be all right," as if telling yourself it'll be all right. So there's so many situations in my life, I think, that I could relate that to, even in relationships, for example, and that's the way that I interpreted those two songs.
Yeah.
So I think there's so many ways you could interpret those two songs in particular. And then another song that I really liked from this album was "Home." The song was, she kind of used some sort of voice alteration in that song.
Yes,
and she even did that in the concert as well, which I remember listening to it for the first time at the concert and thinking, wow, this sounds so cool. Yeah. And then once I got home, I added it to my playlist. But another interesting song on the album was "Prelude," which was
wait, prelude or prelude? What was it? Okay, yeah, whatever. I can remember.
Way.
Yeah.
Which was, I remember listening to it and thinking, is this not a classical song? Which it is. It is. It's Prelude in E minor by Chopin, which I found afterwards. Huh? So I'm not too sure why she added that in. I'd be curious to know, but it comes at the end of the album, right before the last track, I believe.
Okay.
So I thought that was very interesting.
Okay.
I was not expecting that. I remember listening to the album for the first time, all like at once, and then that song came out, and I'm like, oh, interesting, because there were no vocals in that song either.
Yeah. Okay. It is Prelude. I just have my Spotify open. Yeah, it is Prelude. Okay. Yeah. I mean, hey, Linea, like if you wanna come over here again, just like 4 years ago, and want to talk about your album, I mean, I'm probably not gonna host that show, but you know,
send Harrison an email.
No. Send Noor the email, and who knows? Maybe I'll just come by the station, and maybe I'll fangirl a little bit.
Pray through the glass right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't really pan the camera, but it's right there. Harrison will be like peeking in.
Yeah. I really agree with what you said with the "It'll Be Alright" and "What I Know Now," because that connection didn't really occur within my brain, but now that you mentioned it, it happened, because it feels like our emotional turmoil, right? Whenever something bad happens, we instantly panic, right? I'm like, what I would say, like, oh my god, this happened. What am I gonna do now? And then eventually I calm myself down and figure out, it'll be alright, kind of thing. either by like a reasonable like calming down or unreasonable one, but eventually I calmed down. So I guess I really agree with what you said. The flow is really connecting. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe I did a segment for Ellis. I forget what song, but the one where she talks about like how she hates heart and that other stuff. Like I interpreted it as like, oh, it's like a love interest. Like when we look at artists, like they are essentially like the eye and their perception of the world. And the fact is, like in that song particularly, which was my personal favorite, it's the way that she like hates the world, and that's like explained through her art. And you explained it differently as like it may occur like her, like she may hate like, you know, the people producing, like she cried in the booth and all that, like, oh, maybe she just doesn't like the industry she's in. Then Noor gave us an interpretation of like, oh, it's a relationship. I could see both being literal and figurative, like in a way that one is represented through, oh, I just like don't like the people I'm working with and I hate making this art, or like the guy I'm with makes me hate my own art because he says it's foolish and I'm dumb. And like it's just I guess it could be like in a double entendre, the way that it's just for this relationship or for just the people she's working with. And I think that's like quite elegantly put, and I do believe that is based on the interpretation that like you could have is reflective of your own life as well. In one instance, like you're probably not gonna know if like she literally hates the music because of like her manager or something, but like it's very, very subtle, and I think it's only for like the fans who like really know what's going on. Like you know what's going on, so you know what's going on behind the scenes somehow. The mic might be set up back there, but might set up in the booth when she was crying. But I feel like it's very literal in the sense that it's just solely based on her relationship, and make the people like really make her hate her art, which I think is really sucks, because I would really hate writing silly poems in my bathroom or something.
Yeah, but overall, with this album, what I want to kind of wrap up describing this album is that the most personal thing is the most artistic form, which is what Martin Scorsese said.
Shout out Martin.
Yeah, and I think Linnea said that she lost a little bit of in a joking way, said she lost a little bit of dignity by making this album, but it is very personal, and that's what I think makes this album very artistic, because it is so personal, and as you said, there are multiple ways of interpreting this, and I'm just really glad that she's back. I gotta.
She might have lost her like leg, but you know she's back. You know, figuratively.
Yeah, and instrumentals, lyrics, everything just hits the spot for me. So, welcome back, Linnea, and thank you for staying in the scene.
Thank you for Harrison loving your music.
That's awesome. Yeah, so we're gonna wrap up on this album, and so thanks for joining me, and we'll be back after a short break.